we're going to look at chord picking sequences. Now, if you don't know what a chord is on the guitar, check my earlier YouTube videos where I discuss how to read chords and what chords are. But basically what we're going to do in this lesson, a really quick lesson, we're going to look at 3 separate sequences. I'll make sure there's music that you can follow as well. We're basically going to take a couple of chords, well, a few chords. We're going to take E minor and an A minor chord, and then in sequence 2 I think we're going to take an A minor and a C, but we'll look at those. So first of all, what we're going to do is try and get that E minor chord down. Now, I'm not too worried about the right hand at the moment. We're going to talk about plectrum and picking hand, but if we take an E minor chord, and if you're not unsure what that is, check out my earlier YouTube video. But basically, we've got an E minor chord, but instead of normally where we would just strum a rhythm, what we're going to look at doing is actually picking out individual strings, but still with that E minor. We keep this E minor chord anchored down there, so we want that chord to sound okay. And if you can get that, if you can do a slow strum and it sounds roughly the same as me, then we're going to look at sequence 1. Now, I think of this sequence in 2 parts really. So my first part of the sequence is, so basically what I'm doing with that, again, don't worry about the right hand, we'll look at that in more detail in a minute. We're going to pick down 3 strings. So from our thickest E string, we're going to pick down 3 strings and then back 1, so back towards us. So we're going to go down, 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 and then back up. And that's the first half of that bar before we have that bar line. It's the first half of that. Now if we extend that with the second part, so let's look at that second part, because we've got the first part, and then the second part we're going to start on the G, which is our 3rd thinnest string, pick back towards us and down 1. So it's almost the opposite of what we did, where we went down 3 and back 1, then we're going to move up towards us and back 1. So this is the sequence. And if I do that very slowly, we're going to go from the thickest string down 3, still with this E minor on. So down 3, back 1. Then we're going to skip over, jump over to the G, the 3rd thinnest string. And then once you're happy with that, if you get to a point where you think, okay, that sounds okay, try it with different chords, but I've just, for the sequence, I've gone to an A minor. So if we look at the A minor in more detail again, I've written the chord in for this, but if you're struggling with the chords, go back to the lessons before where we discuss chords. But basically with the A minor chord, we're going to pick now from the 2nd thickest string, which is our A, down 3 and back. So it's exactly the same sequence we did before with the E minor, but we're starting on the A string. So we're going down 3, back 1, now to the 2nd thinnest string, which is our B string. I'm playing that inverted, so the complete opposite to the other. So and just swapping between them. And then once you're happy with that and you think you can get that reasonably smoothly, try it with different chords. It could be any chords. We could take a D major chord, and then if we start on the D string, and then start to make your own actual picking patterns. Now, one thing I said we wouldn't look at the beginning, but would have quickly look at now, is the 2 ways of doing this. So if we go back to our E minor, we could use fingers, so no plectrum at all, and then with this we'll pick down 3. Oh, actually, let me discuss these. I'd start with my thumb, pick down 3 strings, and back 1. So I'm actually using different fingers on my right hand, or left hand if you've got the guitar if you're left-handed. So I'm not going too much into finger picking at the moment, but if you could look at doing that, so think of it as each finger has its own string. That's how I'd probably think of that. But to start off, if you just use your thumb, if you're finding this difficult, just use your thumb. And likewise with a plectrum, you could do all downs. So I'm actually picking downwards each time. Or, if you find that really easy, have a look at using alternate picking, so you can go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And that's called alternate picking. Okay, see how you got on with that? Oh, sorry, and forgot to say, next lesson we're going to take another picking sequence. So tomorrow we'll look at another picking sequence, and then the day after another one, and then we'll link all three up.